Good afternoon, friends. How are you on this cloudy day? It's raining around here. It's good for the soil. I would love to share with you today to explore something which is important to our spiritual and our human self. What is our true identity? It is talked so often, but sometimes we tend to ignore our identity or don't live up to who we really are, the true person we are. And that is always a challenge. That's why I want to understand the spiritual significance of a true identity. I recently watched a short film from India where this 25 years old young man trying to figure out what does he want to do with his life, what kind of career he want to pursue. He goes to many interviews. Though he is qualified to be a civil engineer, he doesn't like that job because he thought there is not much of creativity in being a civil engineer. So he explores other areas of job and careers. He thinks that he can do better as a journalist. So communication and journalism, he explores that area and attend many interviews. He doesn't get a good job. And his girlfriend has a problem with him about this. What have you done with your life? What are you going to do with it? If I want to introduce you to my dad, you should have a proper job and you should know what you are doing with your life. Then only I can be confident about you. Dad will be confident about you to give me to you in marriage. So, besides, his girlfriend is supporting him, offering him regular stipends for his pocket money. Finally, he goes to this interview and that didn't go well. And then he realizes all I have in my life is collecting data and knowing about different things outside and allowed the world to define who I am. I am running with the flow of everything happening around me, but I do not know who the real I am and what I want to do with my life. So finally, he tells his girlfriend, "Sorry, dear, give me some time. I want to analyze my life, find out who the real I am, and find my identity so that I will know for certain what I want to do with my life." There is an awakening for him. So, what is my true identity? Famous psychologist David Benner defines personal identity as who we experience ourselves to be, the I each of us carries within. So, we experience ourselves in particular ways, and we know who we are. The real I is within us, not somewhere else. Most of the time, what happens, we allow others to define what our identity is. That is true in many of our lives. Whether it is our jobs, our financial status, or our successes, or our appearance, or what others think about us. If we allow all these external things to define who we are making a big mistake. That is not who the real we. I mean, if external circumstances continue to define who you are, when every time a new circumstance arises, then you will have a new identity. You will define yourself differently. For example, this I generation, the new electronic generations of people, they are trying to find who they are. They are confused. They don't know the real self. They are trying to identify themselves with so many things happening around the culture. And when the culture is in a big flux, they are also trying to adopt to that and say that that is the real self. That is their identity. And they are sometimes disillusioned. They go crazy. So it is a wrong way to define ourselves who we are when the external circumstances and culture define us who we are. That is very bad. Let us not do it. Then what is the right way to define ourselves? To find our true identity? Let us try to define our identity as God sees us. St. Paul, in his letter to the Ephesians, offers us a beautiful way of how to define ourselves. Letter to the Ephesians, chapter 1, 3. We are pure, blameless, forgiven by the death and resurrection of Christ. That is, we are so loved by God. We are the true children of God. That is our pure and basic identity. It is one thing to understand intellectually that we are so deeply loved by God, pure, blameless, and forgiven. But another thing, how we experience our daily lives, how the world look at us, and what identity it tries to give us, it's different. So our understanding is one thing, and how we live it every day is different. So our beliefs are true, good beliefs. What if we have wrong beliefs? For example, we are already freed by the love of Christ, but we still feel that we are still in bondage or not totally free. Or what if we have the wrong belief? I am not well accepted by others. I am rejected. I am not really loved by anyone. So when we continue to define ourselves through wrong beliefs, that change our behavior too. We act differently. We feel we are not free. We feel we are rejected and not loved by anyone. And if we feel that we are not really part of a community, those things define us and they change our good behavior, right behavior. So it is important to go back through our prayer to get into the right beliefs, the basic belief that we are all so loved by God every day. Indifferent to any of our behavior or realities of life, God continued to shower His love. You are always His beloved one, and you are worthy to be loved. Have the right beliefs, have the right understanding of our identity, and that is the way we can live joyfully every day, so that you will have the right belief, you have the right understanding of your personal identity, and you walk in righteous path and the true way of living as a true child of God. Thank you for listening. Think about it. Am I living out of my true identity, or with all the false and different identities offered to me externally? Thank you, and God bless.